the key to success. Doing things even when you don't want to do them, aka doing my little morning vlog when I'm oh so tired. It's got to be done, doesn't it? I had a great morning. Lack of sleep made it challenging, but I still had a great morning in at Soul Hub. Made it in there on time. Sorry camera, but the sun is just staying on today. It is actually quite hot and sunny out here. Oh, you can dwell on the negatives of lack of sleep or flip your mindset, turn up with a positive attitude still. Being grateful. I'm sitting in the park, Civic Park, one of my favourite spots in the world. Beautiful day, sun's out, not a cloud in the sky. I will get my rest and recovery back. Indeed I will. Have a go. It's like a whiteout. Soul Hub this morning. I think I'm gonna have to find some shade. I'm getting belted in this sun. Soul Hub this morning was it was good. I had another experience with a guest that I've never met before, and he spoke, I've touched on this before, but it's like he spoke around universal energy, and he's someone that's openly struggling with addiction, who can have so much self-awareness and take my sunnies off now. So much self-awareness. It's fascinating. I talked to this guy. I won't mention his name for privacy, but never seen him in there, never talked to him before, and he spoke about life and went pretty deep, and a lot of it around universal energy and what we're made up of and the quantum level. Just some really good reminders, and like I questioned him around purpose, which I feel is something I struggle with, but more in alignment with it these days, and something that I feel and see within other people. I think it's something that you question, especially as life progresses, and it might get to say mid-20s, mid-30s, or earlier or later, but it seems to be that period where people have trod a certain path for a fair portion of their life, and then they come to that point of like somewhat discontent, and they start questioning their world and their surroundings. And I was just curious as to what I can see it within people, and I think, how do I, like, what advice would others give to someone in that position? And it's like, how can I help people? I feel like everyone, whether we know it or not, there's like some sort of core underlying something that drives them. I see people that have found it, people that have not. You sort of dance around it, and it's like, feeling these certain, let's call them negative emotions and this and that, but it's like, we have it all. We have everything in our material world. We have everything in our being to have, feel, see all the emotions that we so believe and desire we should, but still sit in a place of not content with our reality. It's crazy. This guest, he's struggling with addiction, but could still acknowledge the fact that it was happening for a reason. Like, why am I, instead of the like, why me? It's coming from a place of like full acceptance of his reality and then trying to take action. He'd relapsed a couple of times over the years and is currently in it, but it's still taking conscious action to change his world. I think it's inspiring. Like, people, we all have challenges. Some people in the deepest challenges, like I feel within my communities and circles and that I connect with, obviously the people that are coming into Soul Hub are very much facing some big challenges, and I guess I come back to like the basic human needs, a lot of it, and not having that. And the environment's a big thing. Like, people who are surrounded by this, and even the gentleman that I was speaking with today, it's like he is still living in it, still surrounded by people, and like it's just there on your doorstep. And I feel for them. Like, I guess myself, I don't, who do I surround myself? Like, who are the people, and what are this, like, who do I want to welcome into my world? And sometimes it's not like the freedom of choice that I guess we believe. Like, if you're in government housing or something like that, like, you don't really get a choice of where you go. Like, you've just got to accept whatever. And people who are in similar situations and that are going to take the path of least resistance, which is often, I think, like self-medicating and finding these escapes. And yeah, it's challenging. I think it's people, I feel even the weekend, like you go to a festival and people are on such a high, and like, to a certain degree, it is an escape. Like, people drinking, the drug culture, like, is prevalent in those, and it's like everyone's having an amazing time. And it's still that reality of like, is it possible to reach those? Is it possible to reach those levels without any of it? And I guess it's like myself, I see like my own little human experiment. So it's like, what do I need to do, and what can I guess it came back to like the conversation I had today with this guy. It's like, how can I cultivate the best possible version of me? And how can I inject different situations into my reality to enhance the human experience and make the best possible for myself? I like that. How do I inject it into my world? Like, what can I do? Inject's probably had some negative connotations to it, but it's like, it's like we're all just playing the game at the end of the day, but it's like, I want my game to have more of the positives and beautiful experiences of life. And it's like, irrelevant of what you do, it's like, for me, what makes me tick, what will create the best possible experience for myself in order to shed my light and be the light for other people. And it's like, is me going to a festival and for a few days and coming back depleted? It's like, is that best for me or the world? Like, 3 days of fun and partying and that, does the flow-on effect from that, and trying to catch up and sleep now for the next week, and all these different inputs. And yeah, I think it's like a feedback. It's like a science experiment in a way. It's like a little feedback loop. I influence my world, I would give it different inputs, and then it's a feedback loop of like, oh yeah, how did that go? I guess that's how we navigate life. Like, we're constantly pushing boundaries and experimenting and doing different things, and then it's like you take that feedback, and then hopefully we act on it, try and change something, making little tweaks. And I guess that's what I'm doing, continually just tweaking and evolving and learning and growing, and we're absorbing. My mind and body is a sponge, and I like to listen, expose myself, stay open-minded to different inputs and visualizations and the art of the world. And then also people fascinate me. The psychology, I think, is something that's I don't think there's no answers as to what we do, but yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to love, and self-love is just massive. Yeah, just trying to think of something that it'll come to me. My friend said today, which he spoke around the Taurus field, which is, I've heard before, which is the energy that is emanated from your heart space, and how they can measure that with ECGs. I think it's an ECG machine, the size of it, of that energy field, and quite fascinating. But it's like so much stuff, like when it just comes back to the heart, doesn't it? It's the, like, having love for self. And yeah, I even look at what people do, and even myself, and festivals, and this is the psychology and the conditioning that we've been patterned, ingrained into our brains. And then it's like, yeah, well, I question why we do what we do in a good way. It's like I'm just a curious critter with a crazy mind. But I like to observe and see and think, why do people do that? And I think something I love is just sometimes the stupid stuff that we do in a funny way. Like, people just do some random stuff, and it is quite funny. I think my intention for this week is to just have a laugh, enjoy the ride. You know, when I'm like having a laugh, it's infectious. It's like, I just take this shit too seriously, eh? I do. I take it way too seriously. It's just, yeah, all laughter. A few good laughs on the weekend. It's good to just come back to that. Something that my week, I want to be more intentional around laughter. Have a bloody laugh. It's Monday morning. Proud of myself. I got home, left at 4, came home, trying to be very what's the word? Reliable? No. Sorry vlog, my brain's struggling today. Trying to be reliable. It's like I could have just stayed up there, could have checked into Seoul, not gone. I was like, no, I'm going. You have to deal with the consequences of lack of sleep and stuff like that. It's like, no, I said I was going to be there. It's on shift, I'm going to be there. I don't have an excuse. It's been integral to myself. Being integral to myself. Proud of me. Was challenging today, been so tired. I think I still had an open mind, I still attracted the right energy. Thoroughly enjoyed my conversation around the quantum energy of life. the universe, source, sends us messages in some very unexpected ways, but you have to tune in and open your mind and tune into that frequency of life and listen. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Happy Monday, let's go.